Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys enjoyed Unjust Gospel Part 1. Unjust Gospel Part 2 is on its way, but at the moment, happy Valentine's Day everybody. I hope you guys are all enjoying today, because so far, I am. Don't worry, I'm single. Anyway, so pretty much as I was making these stories and editing them, I was kind of wondering to myself, you guys kinda don't know much about me other than the videos that I upload. So, I decided to make this video a bit special, and on the theme of Valentine's Day, I will tell you guys a little bit of my first date. So, a little bit of background story about me. I never went on a first date during my high school year. That's literally my background story right there. That's all you guys need to do. No, I never went on a first date during my entire high school life. All my 4 years, never once went on a date. You guys could believe that, not believe that, it's alright. But that's the truth. I'm telling you guys the truth. I've never went on a first date. So, after graduating out of high school, I got myself hired in Wally World. And during Wally World, I met a girl who also got hired at the same time. We didn't go out at that time. It was after like a year or two while we were working at Wally World that she actually asked me out. So the girl that we're gonna be naming here, her name is gonna be Lynn. So Lynn and I have been talking prior to this. We've already talked about it. We've already been good friends. We talked about like things we hate about working at Wally World, all the unfair stuff this world has to do. You know, all the stuff that we all say to other coworkers or friends that we could all relate to. So this was not during February. It was kind of during the winter time. So it was kind of getting close to Christmas, I guess maybe November. And on that one night, it was kind of coming to me that during my 4 years of high school, I never went on a date. And it started kind of bothering me because my parents was kind of pushing me to find a girlfriend as soon as possible, so that way I could might a chance propose and marry her and get them grandkids. And because they noticed that I've been locking myself in my room, playing nothing but my games and anime and working at Wally World and all that whatnot, they started to get kind of worried because at that rate, I believe I was already 21, like past 21 or maybe during 21. I can't remember when. I knew it was like after 4 years after I graduated out of high school that I started working at Wally World, and a year after, that's when it got interesting for me. So, how it all happened was one night when both me and Lynn got out of work from Wally World. We met up at the front of the building, and we started chatting a bit. And I started telling her I started feeling like a bit pressured because my parents constantly kept telling me to find myself a girlfriend, and I don't know how to go on a date with her because I never went on a date. And like most people, no one believed me, but I genuinely could tell you I've never went on a first date till that moment. And I said, I think this quote, don't hold this against me, but I said to myself, I think I should look for one. And apparently I think I unconsciously opened myself up to asking her out, but I didn't intentionally do it. So for her, she decided to jump on that and in person in front of me said, "What about me?" And when she said that, my mind was going blank because, again, I will read this as many times as I have to throughout this entire video. I never once went on a first date till that moment. So I was like confused because I've been friends with her for a year now. I never saw her as a potential girlfriend. I just friend zoned her in my mind. But now she's asking me out. She's actually proposing that I go out with her. So I thought to myself, maybe this could work, but before I could answer, her ride came and she left. But in my head, I was thinking, was she serious or was she not? If she was serious, I could consider it. If she not, it was a joke. So as I was driving back home from Wally World, I got a text message from Lynn. And her text message literally said, what I said at Wally World, I was serious. What do you say? And when I saw that, I just got home and I'm just like, oh, you were serious. Oh, well then. So, like I said, I only saw her as a friend, but seeing her as a girlfriend, I thought to myself, maybe it could work, but I'm not 100% sure, but I had to try. So I replied to her yes, and we checked our schedule together because we worked at Wally World, and we found out that our next day off together was the next day. That was awkward. So because of that, we immediately had our first date coming up on the next day. I'm going through this all by memory, so I'm sorry if I'm like rushing through the story, but after that, the next morning, I had a few time before it was time to go out on the date, so I called in my two friends, Robert and Spencer. Those two never went on a date before, to my knowledge. They might have changed now, but during that time, I knew they never went on their first date, so we were all on the same boat. So asking them was probably the awkward thing to ask, but they were my best friends, and I knew I could count on them. And so when I asked them to give me advice about dates and all that, we decided to head out and hang out together during lunch so we could eat at a restaurant together and we could discuss what to do. Their advice was actually really, really good. They gave me good advice about what the clothes on the first date to wear, what places I could take her and what places not to take her, and what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And I was actually quite interested in about everything they were saying and all the things that I needed to know, because I never went on a first date. Again, I will not stop repeating that. I know you guys probably don't believe me, but believe me, I never went on a first date. Look at my other videos, my live action videos, the series of Got Bored. You will see why I never got a girlfriend. So after a while, after hanging out and all that, it was getting close to the time for me to get ready to go to the date to pick her up. So we went our separate ways. I went back home, put on the clothes that they recommended me to wear, and I set out and I went in my car and went out to pick her up. So the beginning of the date, I took her to a good arcade area. I really love this arcade area. I go to it whenever I have the spare time because I really love the people who work there. The place is called Boss Stage. If you guys know that place, you should also recommend it to your friends because it's an awesome place. But they also have arcade there, and if you just pay $12, you could play all their arcades for the entire day because they program each of the arcades to not take quarters. So it is an awesome place. It is on the 104th and Huron. If you guys are in Colorado, they are an awesome place. I really love it. I heard they're gonna be expanding on their store, so I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, I took her to Boss Stage. We played some arcades. We had fun, and then it was getting late, so I decided to take her onto a restaurant. And during at the restaurant, first mistake was I didn't realize that I needed to make a reservation ahead of time for the specific restaurant that my friends recommended, because they never specified about that. So that was kind of an embarrassment, but luckily we only had to wait about 5 minutes to get a table. So that was all good on that part. We had our dinner, we ate, we talked, we had some fun. But then that's when my entire night went from fun to, oh my god, this is happening. So, I do not know how to explain this, but so you know how some people, like in comedy shows or cartoons, they always make the joke of, oh snap, I left my wallet in my other pants, and for those cartoons they pull out their other pants and take out their wallet or stuff like that, and for some of those rom-coms and all that, it just goes awkward and funny from there. So from that reference, you guys could probably understand like where this is going. But during that time, I wondered to myself, how does one forget a wallet because a wallet is that important to them? Like, you don't want to forget it at home because it has your money in it. And you guys already figured out where this is going, so I'm not gonna kick around the bush. When it was time to pay for the check, I couldn't find my wallet in my pants, in my pockets, or anywhere. I checked my car, I checked the chairs that I was sitting on around the table, and I ended up having to call my mom, ask her to go into my room to find my wallet. She didn't find it right off the bat, and as she dug through the piles of clothes that I had, she found my wallets in the other pants that I wore to hang out with Spencer and Robert. Apparently, when I got home, I was kind of feeling nervous and kind of rushed because I wanted to make sure I was ready for the date. So I put everything on, put all my clothes on, and immediately headed out without realizing my wallet was not with me. So I started freaking out a bit because I couldn't pay for the food that I am on a date with. She looked at me all flustered, all panicking, and instead of like being like, oh my god, like, is this really happening? Or, oh my god, I can't believe you did this, she actually laughed, seeing how much I was panicking. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna die now. So she actually saw it as adorable of how much I was like flustering all about, trying my best to like keep calm, but couldn't keep a straight face because I couldn't anymore. And she actually really didn't mind it, so she did pay for our dinner on the first date, which was not good, but so because I wanted to make sure the date didn't end in embarrassment, apparently, I decided to drive back home with her in passenger side, grab my wallet, and to end the night, I took her to the movies on that same night, even though I should have waited till the next date. Now that I think about it. That's in the past now. So we had watched the movie, I spent some time, then I dropped her off at home, and then that was the end of the date. That was actually my first experience as on the very first date that I ever had, and that was the most embarrassing time, well, one of the most embarrassing time in my entire life up to that point. There's still more embarrassing things that I could remember that I did in my childhood, but can't really specify. But at that moment, it was actually quite enjoying. I did kind of enjoy it, but we went on another date, but later we broke up after a month because we weren't really clicking together. So she said, but I wasn't the one that dumped her, she's the one that dumped me, saying that she felt like she was going through too much depression and all that, and I wanted to at least like support her, but not as a boyfriend, but as a friend. So I guess she kind of realized that too, that we felt more comfortable as friends instead of couples. So I guess that's the reason why she broke up, or I guess we both broke up together. I would say it was mutual. I kind of understood. I didn't really push it. I didn't want to go too far with it, so I'm okay that we're still friends again. We're still talking. She doesn't work at Wally World anymore, but here and there I see her come by and shop, so I just wave to her saying, "Hey, how you doing?" We talk. But that was my first experience of my first date. Sorry if the story felt it was kind of rushed. It was kind of a little of a backstory. Sorry if I rushed it. If not, alright. But I'm currently working on the second part of my story of Unjust Gospel, so I hope you guys are all looking for that. It'll be uploaded before the end of this month. Today's video was just to celebrate of the holiday, the Valentine's Day. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I will be seeing you guys all next time. See you in my next video.